مساكم الله بالخير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اسمي علي محمد الوردي، أنا من سلطنة عمان. إلي الشرف أني شاركت اليوم بالمؤتمر هذا أول مرة، لكن إن شاء الله السنوات القادمة. لضيق الوقت أنا ببدي بالعرض باللغة الإنجليزية، أحاول تكون لغة بسيطة. إذا عندكم أي أسئلة أو أنه شيء ما مفهوم أرجوكم خبروني. كنت حابب أشارككم بنبذة أو قصة عن نفسي، بس على أساس أنه ما في وقت كفاية بطوفها هذه. طيب اليوم I'll switch to English. So what I'm trying to share with you today is something that we're trying to do. We started in the company. So I'm not academia. I work for a company. So it's different perspective. And this is part of where I work. Is Petroleum Development Oman is the largest company in the oil and gas industry in the Sultanate. And I work as in-country value, means in-country value lead for R&D and technology. I'll preview what we're trying to do basically. So my role is trying to promote R&D from the company side, because as oil and gas company, it doesn't have its own division for R&D, and there's no even a budget to carry on R&D activities. We buy a lot of technologies from outside and lots of expertise from outside, but our division, which is established around 2015 by my colleague Dr. Abdullah Al-Abri, we try to secure and establish a system within the company to promote R&D and support different activities. So the benefit will be for the company and the country and academy as well. So I'll go fairly quickly, and I emphasize on some important slides. And if you have any questions, please ask me at the end of the presentation. So this is the business scope. I'll leave you to read it, and then I'll discuss it. There are keywords in this. This is what we're trying to do. And this is not something we established or we wrote. It came up from different studies, which I will go through them later on. So invest and promote R&D and technology transfer, because we use a lot of technology. And we focus on products, services, with some feasibility to really implement these services and technologies to create competitive advantage to the country. A subset of that is this. So as oil operator, we have a lot of technical challenges and a lot of expertise and technical expertise. We would love to leverage on those and build on those technical expertise to have, to support R&D products. And somehow, maybe from these challenges, we can create SMEs and maybe companies in the future. So this is the vision for the company, probably in the GCC areas, to be the technology and innovation center for oil and gas by the year 2040. And we have a detailed strategy to go through that, how to establish it. I'm not going to share with you because a lot of technical stuff, but I will brief you how we can do it partially. And this is the mission statement. Create sustainable and innovative ecosystem. That's very important. Through some of the enablers are these ones. Strong R&D base. We need to have or establish strong R&D base in the country. And collaboration between the science and industry. There's a gap, and I think my colleague Mohammed Rawahi will talk tomorrow more about this topic. Sustainable business-driven objectives, definitely we need that to sustain the business. Skilled human capital, we're trying to develop a human capital within the country level and national level that can solve for some of these obstacles that we have. International cooperation is important because there are some international institutes, universities, whatever, they're really advanced and would like to tap into those expertise and have some cooperation. And that's happening already. So basically, why did we start this? Where did it start? So those three white papers or studies, we use them as a base for us where we want to go. So all of what I just said in previously somehow is related as outcomes from both studies. I will go through them by one quickly. Oil and gas industry in-country value. This is a strategic paper evaluating the in-country value status in the country, and these are the number. A number of recommendations came out from this study. So this was done around 2013. This is the first one. And in-country value means the maximum benefits that we can put in the country in terms of jobs, services, buying products, locally made products, similar stuff to that, and support to academia. So some of these recommendations will be probably similar to the upcoming ones. So all of them, they have something in common, and that's what we try to capture from those studies. To support dedicated science and technology government entity, that's really important. In the set R&D investment regulations. Yes, we need to have regulations for R&D. Support setup of technology city. We need a technology city. Probably that's not happening yet, but we have some initiatives to have a city, innovative city in the country. And this is not related to the company, by the way. This is for the country level. It's not the company, but we are part of this, and we're trying to really help to establish some of this or achieve some of this stuff. Set up high technology SME incubators and programs. Do you know what SME is? Small, medium enterprises incubators. So we have SMEs. They would love to grow up, but they don't have technical support and they don't have incubation setup. So we're trying to help them on that sense. Set up a country attraction program for high technology suppliers. So would love to have international companies or institutions to come and invest really in this sense. So this is this set of outcomes from this study. Similarly, this study as well was done to evaluate the science, technology, and innovation in the country, in Sultanate. And it came up with a number of suggestions. Is it visible? Can you see it? Because I cannot see it well here. So foster international and regional integration. We need international and regional integration to help us to achieve this. Develop IP and R&D guidelines. That's important for intellectual property. And then simulate holistic approach to improve innovative climate. So we need to improve the climate within the country. So we need to develop that climate along with others to support us. Finally, to develop a critical mass of entrepreneurs. We need entrepreneurs. The more of those guys, entrepreneurs, the better ideas that we get and better solutions that we can support. So we need a bigger mass of entrepreneurs. The final paper, which is a workshop and a study, what is the outlook of energy in Oman by 2040? What is the demand? What is the supply? What's missing there to really achieve this in the future by 2040? And there were three elements came out from this discussion, because I'm focusing here on technology only. There are lots of other stuff came up. Narrow the gap between the industry and academia. And that's happening. And we're trying to, by establishing IGAD, we're trying to close that gap. More Omani students to have their PhDs in the Sultanate. So the academia will benefit more. Now we have lots of PhD students doing their business or their studies outside. Establish R&D clusters and incubators across Oman. That's really important. But the most important element was to narrow the gap between the industry and academia. And that's our first focus when we established the gap. So how do we do that? What things we can really enable us to achieve some of those stated objectives or outcomes or gaps in the country. So I'll try to explain this. I added this last night. Try to make it simple. So it's two divisions. We are sitting in the middle, the in-country value R&D. That's me and my team. The box to the left are the internal enablers in the company. What are things that we can do and support us to achieve what we're trying to achieve, our objectives? The box on the right are some of external enablers, which is our stakeholders. Those guys who are trying to help us to achieve some of these stuff. Yeah? Try to make a link between what we do inside and outside. So, because it's an oil company, as I said, there's no stated budget for R&D, but that's a challenge. But what we're trying to do is to tap into the contracts. We have a lot of contracts that renewed every year, or millions of dollars. So we'd like to take a portion of those contracts to support R&D projects. And that's the first statement. C7 and C5, that's the contract divisions. It's not really important here. Then the challenges, the technical challenges that we have in the company are the fuel for us for projects. 10 minutes. Okay, it's not clear, is it? Okay. And then we try to do some analysis from the SAP. SAP is a system, procurement or purchasement system. We try to analyze how much we spend and where we spend it, with which equipments, which technologies we spend money on mostly, so we can focus directly on that. There are lots of technologies that we trialed on the ground. If they are success, we try to implement, and then we tap into those technologies. We try which part of that technology we can localize, or we transfer some of that knowledge to the Omanis or locally. Basic lab analysis. Some of these analyses and tests were sent outside in the past. We discovered we have a lot of capabilities in universities and local companies that can do the same stuff. So we're trying to push some of that as a new business opportunities for them. And then to support students in their innovative projects, we have a number of projects so far. I'm looking after 3. We're trying to really push them from prototyping to applications. So those entrepreneurs, Oman entrepreneurs, they have 3 projects, very viable to oil and gas business. So we're trying to push them to give them support, technical and finance, so we can implement. The first external stakeholder, very important, are the universities. And through IJAD, I will speak about that briefly. Now we have the connection between the industry and academia through IJAD. There is also a government entity, which is Innovation Center, Industrial Innovation Center. We have a committee. I'm looking after that committee. And those 3 projects came from them, from Omani students, from Oman entrepreneurs, and we're helping them to really implement within. The rest of those guys, we're trying to have a link, because those 2 in the middle are financial funding bodies. They would love to invest in technology, but they're very careful. SME and startups, yes, we need to really spin off some of the achievements of some of these projects through SME collaboration. There's a government entity also looking after that. And local companies. We need local companies to come forward and invest in technology and help us into that. Or maybe start fabricating or manufacturing stuff that we need. What is missing from this slide are the businessmen, the investors. I haven't seen any businessman who's really willing to come and invest in technology, or that's really something maybe we need to maybe improve or maybe do marketing on it. But briefly, this is what we're trying to do. IJAD, as I mentioned, IJAD was established by that study in 2015, and then by 2017 there was a protocol. Lots of companies, universities signed that protocol, so they are part of the platform. So IJAD basically is ABC, so it's academic and business collaboration platform. We have full-time employees working there. It's hosted by the Research Council in the Sultanate. and a lot of activities that are going on. Mohammed Rawahi he's working in Ijad. He's my colleague there. So basically, what Ijad is trying to do, or the focus areas, we're focusing a lot on oil and gas activities, definitely, because part of that, we are part of the energy challenges. We have a lot of energy challenges, renewables coming up to replace gas consumption. And then the water challenges. We have a lot of challenges, like elsewhere in the Arab world, water challenges. So those are the 4 main focus areas for Ijad. So Ijad is trying to promote R&Ds and find solutions and link between the 2 parties. So it's basically connecting the 2 sides, and also there's collaboration between not only academia and we have some 5 minutes, but it's a mix now. We have an ecosystem. This is the model I try to develop, because a lot of people asking me, why you need R&D? Why do you need to support R&D in industry? So I try to put some thoughts in place. So we have a technical challenges at the bottom there. These are the fuel for me. And then we push them for R&D. So R&D centers, they need technical financial support. And that's opportunity for us to develop local capabilities, either human or non-human capabilities. And then we get solutions out of R&Ds. That's opportunity to spin off some of these solutions and link them to small, medium enterprises, and then develop those enterprises. Definitely we need incubation centers and helping them in prototyping their products. And then we move to product development or hardware development, and we need also support for IP, high-tech. The main focus is high-tech products, because that's most of the imported technology from our side. And that's opportunity for local manufacturing, definitely. Then that will feed the industry needs so it close the loop at the end. This is just an example of an innovative solution. We had a challenge in the company, lots of produced water, associated water with oil. And what to do with it? We used to dispose it deeply, but that was costly and it's caused some environmental issues. So we came up with this solution. So Nemor is an oil field. Reed beds is the project type. It used to be liability. Now it's an opportunity for the business. Yeah. So this is schematic approach. We used graffiti actually to solve this problem, to reduce the energy consumption. We use the gravity and some local plantation, local materials. So water comes here, it's filtered a little bit, so some oil is recovered, and flows into those terraces. A lot of there's special plantation there that cleans the water. And it goes all the way using the gravity. Until the end, the water is clean, it can be used. If it is evaporator, we have industrial use salt. So simple solution for a major problem. This is how it used to be, and this is in cooperation with our partners, Bayer from Germany. This is how it started. After years, we have this sort of plantations. Solve the problem. We don't need to spend a lot of money. So some projects, benefits, beside we fixed a business problem. So we created local jobs opportunities for Omanis. And then we developed bio-saline agriculture. There are opportunities for that. New business opportunities in the country, and then greening the desert. Comparing the old solution, I mean, this is how much energy we used, how much we used for a cubic meter. It's a lot. It's 5.5 kilowatt per hour. And that's how much CO will be produced by that project, by that option. Using this alternative, innovative solution, we have very minimum use of power, yeah, and very minimum of CO2 outcomes. Okay, and by that, we could save 1 billion cubic feet of gas every year, and the country needs that. And that's equivalent to almost 300,000 tons of CO2. We need to reduce CO2, because of this global warming. Since this is an Arab gathering, I thought let's share this index, where we stand, why it's important really to invest in R&D. So this is, a number of countries ranking in terms of how much they spend from their GDP, the percentage. And here, how many researchers full-time in R&D. So as you can see, South Korea is on top. US and China and all of those guys, they spend a lot on R&D. And you can make a link between where they stand now and the innovative technology that we get from them. Yeah. And here at the bottom, this is Oman, and I think there's Egypt somewhere there, so we are on that side. And this is basically a trace of how much the Arab world spent for that period of time. It's around 0.5%. Finally, this is Nizwa Fort, built by Omanis in around 1668. When Oman was empire, we built a lot of these stuff. How those people managed to build these complicated buildings, because they used science. Education was really good at that time. We have a lot of advancement. So this is not only government or government where he stays or runs the country, but also there were schools and there's some other stuff. So if we manage to do this at that time, we definitely can make it. So we need to believe what we have. And this is final slide from my side. If you want to communicate with me, I'm available on LinkedIn, and that's my GSM number, Gmail. And I thought I like this بيت شعر. هذا شاعر عراقي معروف الرصافي. And I really like this بيت لأنه إذا ما اهتمينا بالعلم ما راح يتطور حقيقة. هذا هو basically that's a bottom line. شكرا جزيلا.
يعطيك العافية دكتور. بالنسبة للار ان دي انفستمنت تشارتس اللي حطيتها على الار ان دي انفستمنت، هل هاي اخر شيء اخر سلايد يعني؟ ايوه. هل هاي اللي هي الار ان دي انفستمنت ان توتال انكلودينج الار ان دي ديبارتمنت اللي بالشركات، ولا هاي اللي هي المصروفات الحكومية على الار ان دي؟ شكرا
على السؤال. طيب السورس مال الانفورميشن هو موجود هنا. هذا الديتا اعتقد 2018. And those countries, it's not only the government spending. Companies spend on that. Businessmen spend on R&Ds. So it's all together. In our side, or in our case, in Arab world, mostly is government spending, and that's where we lack a lot of funding. Yeah. So this is, I believe, is in total spend in R&Ds by different entities and different personnels.
أول شيء يعطيك العافية. ثاني شيء بس بدي أسألك سؤال، إيش في طريقة بنقدر نزيد فيها استثمار رجل الأعمال أو أي أشخاص ثانيين في التكنولوجيا بشكل عام، أو إيش السبب إنهم ما بيستثمروا فيها أكثر شيء؟
هي أول شيء ترجع للثقافة، ثقافة الاستثمار وثقافة R&D. يعني الرجل الأعمال ما بيحط فلوسه في شيء ربما ما موثوق، فهمت علي؟ ما في عائد مادي. للأسف معظم رجال الأعمال اللي أعرفهم أنا واللي أسمع عنهم they invest on low risk businesses، عقارات وما شابه. الار&دي تحط مبالغ بس ما مؤكد إنه في مردود، ولكن if there is a technical breakthrough you gain that a lot, you know. So it goes back to the culture and maybe regulations and maybe marketing and maybe create an ecosystem for them to see this opportunity as a benefit. This is maybe the next trend where the investment should go. Maybe invest in technologies. It makes sense because I know a lot of companies, services companies, they spend a lot of money. They have their own R&D systems, centers, and they come up with a technology breakthrough, that's we buy very expensive technologies, and they compete among themselves because they know they have to be at the edge there to make the business viability and make money out of it.